Hey, what's going on, Los Angeles? Welcome back to the Ram Skinny here on the LAFB network and live from multi-LA training camps today. We got Skinny T at Rams camp, obviously the Rams show. I'm actually at Chargers camp about to kick off, but we're bringing you all things Rams here on the Rams Skinny. Skinny, what's up, brother? How we doing?
Doing great. Only, this is the second to last day, so 1 day left of Rams training camp. It's bittersweet, you know. It's hard. They're long days sometimes, but it's awesome to be out here. So, yeah, a little bittersweet.
Yeah, it's always a lot of work, but crazy how fast it goes by, like just like that. And it's 2 weeks in, and then the final 2 weeks are just no media coverage. They still obviously have camp and practice, but different schedules and whatnot. So yeah, it goes by fast. But excited to talk with you about the Rams and hopefully some good news. Real quick, show is always brought to you by our friends at BetOnline. Head to betonline.ag today. Use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. Gets you a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Tell them the guys at the LAFB network sent you. So Skinny, big news yesterday. Jonah Jackson out with what was the official bruised
scapula? Bruised scapula.
Bruised scapula.
The triangular bone in your shoulder blade, basically.
So the unfortunate thing about that is it's not related to his injury from last season. It's a new one. Unfortunately,
good or bad.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad, but just tweak something new. And then today, new news: the other stalwart on the offensive line, Rob Havenstein, leaves practice. What update do you have on his injury status?
Coach McVay didn't have a lot to say about it. He said it was a foot, maybe got stepped on, is kind of what he said. The confusing updates are that the Rams' official position is that Jonah Jackson is week to week, and then the national media, your Mike Garofalo's and Adam Schefter's are saying more than that, 6 weeks. So in terms of Havenstein, still seems to be a wait and see. I'll be back here on Saturday, have an update for you then. And then the final guy that's been struggling with injury is tweaked his ankle. Alaric Jackson still not out there today. But again, McVay's not worried about that at this time. Today you could really feel the difference between the starting lineup for the Rams offensive line and their backups. There was a big drop off there.
Yeah, and obviously we know from our last show that you'd updated us that Joesph Noteboom has been playing for Alaric Jackson at tackle. Were you able to see any more of who's kind of been playing for Jackson? Is it Bo Limmer, the rookie? Or were we seeing Logan Bruss kind of making that jump maybe? Or are they kind of just doing a carousel of guys?
The Warren McClendon was in for Rob Havenstein after he went out, and then 57 Zach Thomas in for Jonah Jackson.
Gotcha. So not great in the news of Logan Bruss progressing if he's not even getting those backup reps.
Yeah, that's another one. That's they had more one-on-ones today with the pass rushers and the offensive linemen, and this defensive line is looking stout in that kind of way where they're able to beat up on some of these guys on the offensive line. We had all of our questions heading into the training camp was all about the defense. And the defense is really, other than a couple of injuries on that side, it's really coming together. It's really looking pretty fierce and pretty strong and pretty energetic and youthful and excited. And the offense, with these injuries, it's hard to tell. But that pop outside of Cooper Kupp and outside of Demarcus Robinson, there's just not a lot of pop on that side so far. I'm not trying to be alarmist. It's just how these things work sometimes when you're expecting to see one thing and the opposite is true. So that was kind of my large takeaway from today.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about it last show, and I think that in where we stand right now, this is probably outside of the injuries, of course, terrible, but where we stand right now, that's probably the best news that the Rams could have and the Rams fans could have is that the fact that the defense is looking so good, because those were all the questions. Like the offense will figure it out as long as they can get healthy, as long as that offensive line, can come together and build that continuity before, week one. I don't think there's any question or any fear of the offense getting things going, get the running game, getting things going. So if there was a unit that's quote unquote struggling, that would be the one you'd want because, they'll do it. Whereas if the defense looked like, oh man, this is going to be you don't know how long that thing's going to take to get going with the youth and the unknownness and the fact that you're seeing like they're really balling out. I mean, these young guys are looking good on the defensive front. The secondary, Tre'Davious White's looking like old Tre'Davious White a little bit. Like, that's got to be really, really encouraging and really, really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote about these injuries along the offensive line yesterday, and it just occurred to me that, this team is going to go this way the offensive line goes. If the offensive line all falls in together and looks like it should look with the amount of money that they're spending there and the amount of draft capital that they've used at the position, if this is what the depth is offering, you don't love that. You don't love to see that. And then the next question is continuity heading into the season. Are they going to, seem like one cohesive unit, if Jonah Jackson is out for the duration of the rest of the offseason and preseason? Is he going to hit that first week? Is he going to play the second week? We'll wait and see on that. But those are just questions that are, obvious ones that just pop up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And ones that we'll obviously monitor throughout the rest of camp, even during the closed media time. So let's talk about the good of the offense. And obviously Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua are who they are, and they look to be primed and ready to go. Puka Nacua was just on Sports Center, I think, this morning. The beauty of having, ESPN LA right here in our confines. He was in studio before training camp, but just talked about, how his expectations and now his expectations are high, but when you have a guy like Cooper Kupp leading that room, everyone's expectations are high. And I think the exciting thing that you've seen and we've talked about, but I'll turn it over to you, is Demarcus Robinson. And really looks like he's coming into his own as that wide receiver 3 that we kind of thought he would be. We slated him as our wide receiver 3, but from what you've seen and written, it certainly feels that he has taken a firm grasp of that. But just talk more about Demarcus Robinson and his kind of ingenuity in this offense thus far.
Yeah, that was my question for Mike LaFleur yesterday at the podium was, what does he bring? And he stopped me before I even got the question out. He said energy. He's bringing a lot of energy. And it's interesting because you see a lot of the second and third string guys, the depth guys at the position going to him. That's an interesting thing to see. Obviously, they're going to go to Cooper Kupp and they're going to go to Puka Nacua, but there's a certain camaraderie, there's a certain brotherhood or something like that exists among the rest of the receivers and him. So it's a leadership role. It's a like a consolating, what am I trying to say? Like they're going to him to find out what they did right and what they did wrong, and that's a really impressive thing to see for a second-year receiver. And LaFleur also said that he's really hard to cover because he has a unique wiggle. Other guys use wiggle. But we've been seeing a lot of trips sets with three receivers on one side, and with those three guys, Kupp, Puka, and Demarcus, you got. Not only do you have 3 really good receivers, you got 3 guys that can beat you in different ways, and that's what we're seeing out here. Is even the Rams defense is struggling to keep up with that, and who's going to take who?
Oh man, the route tree combination that you can do with those 3 on one side has to have LaFleur and McVay just salivating what they can do with that, because all guys with elusive speed. You got D-Rob has that jump ball capability that is a little bit lengthier than maybe Nacua and Kupp, but all of them can go over the middle, all of them go on the outside, all of them can do drag routes. Like it's just got to be so much fun as an offensive mind to go to those 2, and I think, or go to those 3, excuse me. I think we knew all offseason how great Kupp and Nacua could be together. Now we need to see them at that elevated level, fully healthy together. But the big question was who truly was going to be that third receiving option. Like Rams might have the best 2 receivers in football, but it seemed like it was going to be a significant drop off to that wide receiver 3. But if Demarcus Robinson is looking as comfortable taking that leadership role on and the skill set that he does have, that he provides to that room, I think you can start to see, and we're getting ahead of ourselves. We haven't even got to week 1 of preseason yet, but you can start to then make the argument that this 3-headed receiver room truly is with some of the best in all of football. So, I mean, that's great to see. And shout out to you. Your question was used on the Rams Twitter. So, making waves there.
Yeah, made my cold, dark heart feel nice and warm.
Your Grinch heart, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It grew 3 sizes. Special shout out to JJ Lapp with 2 A's, as I like to say, on the third team. But he just broke a route, just beat his man, pure speed, caught just probably the deepest touchdown of the day. Without his helmet on, he looks maybe just out of middle school. But
love that.
He's a man out there.
Lapp with 2 A's. Who threw? Who was it? Steady B to Lapp?
Stetson Bennett.
Steady B to double A's. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure Jimmy Garoppolo could have made that throw though. After he had a terrible day today. I'm sorry to report that. I don't want to talk about bad news that much, but he had a couple interceptions. Didn't look like he could get the ball downfield outside the numbers, any of that stuff. So, one bad day.
And you're saying that was Jimmy G had that bad day?
Jimmy G, yeah.
Okay. So, but he at this point
only one series for Stetson Bennett today.
Okay,
so he looked good.
That's good, but that would indicate, based on what we were talking about last show, that it's still Garoppolo like firmly as QB2 at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even with the bad day. Okay. Well, yeah, getting over to the defensive side. I don't think any injuries from defense today, right? I think the defense made it out clear. The offense did not, but defense made it out clear. How has, we've talked about the secondary. We've talked a little about the defensive line. I have a follow-up on the defensive line, but I'll start first with Ernest Jones in the linebacker room. I don't think we've hit them yet. And Jones obviously is one of the premier players on this defense. And linebacker is hard to really analyze in training camp because you're not tackling, and so you're just kind of seeing them in individuals or just seeing if they're in the right places during 11-on-11s. But how's Ernest Jones look to you? I know he's your guy, so give me some shine on Ernest Jones.
He's looked so phenomenal, man. He's just looking sharp. He's looking more and more confident. His vocal leadership is very apparent out here. He's taunting guys on the opposite side. He's talking his guys up on the defensive side. He's just a true heart and soul of this team, which is great to see. And, it's just all pointing towards that second contract for him. As we've talked about, not a lot of draft picks get that second contract for the Rams. I think this is going to be one.
It needs to be one. It needs to be one. I love just seeing you light up when you talk about EJ. You can see it light up. Has there been any other backers? Because as of now, I would say we both feel that probably Christian Roseboom is the other starting linebacker. Obviously, they play a lot of one backer sets. We've seen in the past, so probably won't. It's not like he's out there every single play. But does it seem like he's firmly in that, or what have you seen from the other backers in the room?
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of rotation on the first team with the linebackers. It's been pretty much set. They'll test guys in and out on the defensive line in the secondary, not so much at the linebacker. And if those are your guys that are communicating the most to the defense, you want them available and in there as much as possible. So yeah. In a way, I guess that makes sense. But my guy Ola Kunle Futakasi,
nice.
Still making plays.
Love it. So that's great. Hopefully he'll make the team. Absolutely. So and Christian Rosebroom, great head of lettuce. So can't be understated on that. Quickly, I wanted to follow up on Bobby Brown. Talked about him last show. Seemingly McVay a little bit frustrated, peeved, whatever you call it. It seemed like Bobby Brown just decided to kind of finish up practice a little early. You wrote an article about it as well. Any update on that? Did he look to bounce back, or is he in the doghouse, or what's going on with our guy?
Frickin' Bobby Brown, man. That's a quote from Sean McVay right there. Frickin' Bobby Brown. No, he actually had a fantastic day today. He was in the backfield several times, a couple of run stuffs, and a couple of sacks today. So, and Sean McVay made a point to call him out in his press conference today. So, still in the good graces, still probably going to be fighting for playing time on the front with all those new guys, but he's going to have some playing time for sure. Byron Young also had a fantastic day today as well. Again, a couple of sacks, a couple of run stops, looking good in coverage too, getting outside. They were doing a lot of swing passes out of the backfield, getting Kyren kind of involved in that. So that was kind of fun to see where you were able to see particularly Ernest Jones and then those two outside linebackers kind of working left to right on those plays.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Looking good.
That's good. And then who has, when Brown has not been at, has it been Laurel Murchison, or who's kind of the other kind of interior guys that have been playing alongside Fisk that you've seen?
Yeah, there's been a heavy rotation. Tyler Davis, rookie, hasn't cracked into that rotation, but Laurel Murchison definitely mainstay up there. DeJuan Johnson, I saw him in there a couple of times. Corey Durden in there a couple of times. So yeah, it's all they're testing everybody out because you want that big rotation. You want certain guys for certain downs and distances and programs. So yeah, they're trying them all out.
And based on the skill sets and just the level of, or this come off the wrong way, but the level of talent being there isn't an Aaron Donald. Like, there's going to be a rotation this season. You're not going to probably have 4 set guys in on 95% of the plays, specifically at the interior. So, that kind of being said, any Kobie Turner update? I know he's been banged up throughout camp. Saw that he did maybe make an appearance today. What can you tell us about arguably, outside of Ernest Jones, the next best thing on the defense?
Yeah, he was back in today and looking good. McVay called him out in the press conference as well. Said his presence was felt, and he was really getting after it. He really was making an impact today. Probably the heart and soul of it. Maybe that's why they look even better today than they have in the other days. Having him in there. So yeah, it's exciting to see this defense really coming together. It's really fascinating. Like I was saying, kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, geez, something's in the water, I guess, with this defense, because last year our slogan was better than expected, and they're just rolling that right into 2024, I guess. Better than expected.
Let's hope so.
Take that, I guess. Yeah, let's take that. So, well, great. Well, it sounds like it's been a great day at camp. Obviously, you'll be out there again on Saturday for the final media day at camp. Any other kind of final notes that you want to share? Did we kind of hit all the main topics there?
The last thing of the day was a foot race between 2 of the strength and conditioning coaches. Apparently they had been going back and forth at each other about who was faster. I don't know their names and I don't know who won, but McVay said it was really important for the guys to find out exactly who was the fastest strength and conditioning coach on the staff. And McVay said it was a slow motion 40 for sure.
And McVay didn't get involved in that race? He let them just hash it out?
He did not.
I bet of all the coaches, he's got to be the fastest, right? McVay?
I mean, Aubrey Pleasant might.
Pleasant,
he's
maybe. Yeah.
I would probably give. Who's the wide receiver? What's the wide receiver's coach's name? I'm just blanking on it right now. Yarbo. Yeah. I think he's got some wheels on him. I think he's kind of a wiry guy. I bet he could put the burners on for 40 yards.
I'd be curious. Is this camp like other camps where McVay is always like running around and like literally playing corner against the receivers on individuals and stuff?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And even LaFleur's out there. I haven't seen Shula too much out on the field doing that stuff, but all those coaches are really getting involved on the field.
Real active group, keeping the guys honest. That's what you want to see. So, well, another great camp report, Skinny T. Looks like you're getting the sunshine's coming out down there, so that's good. The clouds may be away.
It is. Yeah, we were getting some raindrops earlier, and I was a little chilly when we first came out, so this is nice.
I know. I was telling you when we logged on, like I left from Pasadena. I'm down here in El Segundo now for Chargers camp, and it's like a 23-degree difference. Did not prepare for cooler beach weather. So we'll see how the evening goes, but it might be a little chilly down here. At least you got sunshine now.
Yeah. Hopefully it holds up for you.
Yeah. So, well, that will do it here for this episode of the Rams Skinny. Thank you, as always, everyone, for hanging out with us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. If not, head to Rams LAFB. Give us a subscribe. It certainly helps us out. Everything can be found on the website, lafbnetwork.com, or anywhere you get your podcast. Just search the Rams Skinny. That's Skinny T. I'm Ryan Dyrud. Everyone have a great couple days. We'll be back. Maybe we'll do a weekend show. We'll see. Obviously, you'll be there Saturday, but if not, we'll be right back Monday with more camp updates for everyone. So thank you all for tuning in. Talk to you all very soon.